Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more Warmachine with Madelyn Corbeau Ordic Courtesan, Fairskin 09047. So, to just about everybody in Western Imran, Madelyn Corbeau is a high-class prostitute, essentially, that visits pretty much every court in the land, including the elven nation of Ios, which, in the Iron Kingdoms, the elves hate humans. This is a cover because she is a spy for King Baird of Ord, and she is very good at her real job. So, in-game is a Warcaster attachment. Mercenary faction works for almost everybody. It's a pretty nasty complement of support abilities. The most impressive of which, at least currently, is the ability to prevent her and her attached Warcaster from being targeted by, I believe it's just one specific enemy unit she targets with the ability, but still impressive. Okay. Lost my train of thought there. There is not much fiction on her outside of her biography. But one funny thing about this particular model, I originally got a miscast head where it was cut off from the nose up, just gone. Yeah, nose up, just gone. So that was something. Okay. And I think I'm going to need to let that dry for a bit before I move on to the clothes. So come back in a minute. Alright. Next, we'll start the hair, I think, with Reiny Gray 09038. Trying to avoid the flash, and this is just giving a base coat. Okay. Okay, she has this very high collar on. So it's a little tricky right now to tell where that collar ends and her actual hair begins. But I think we got it. So because the head was miscast, I had to get a replacement ordered, and Privateer is pretty good about getting your replacement parts when you got a problem. Alright, now, let me think a minute because I lost track of what I was going to do. Okay, got it. 09206 violet red. Which is plugged up. So paperclip hoe. Just right down the nozzle there. That's usually enough to take care of it. And it is. So just make sure since I had to do that I'm at least kind of in focus. That's still a problem, and I forgot to tinker around with camera settings before I dove in again, so I get the bulk of her dress in this, or it's not really a dress actually, more of a corset with a long coat and thigh-high boots over pants. Actually much more practical for a spy, but Alright, just going along. Trying to avoid the flesh, but otherwise giving a solid coat to her coat. Just trim. It'll be picked out in another color later. As well as the gloves and boots, I want to do another color. As well as the collar. I'm a bit surprised they wound up doing her as a two-piece model with the head being separate. Normally I think something like this would be fine with just a one piece. Okay. I'll go ahead and do this part red as well. It's a violet red. Let's see here. Okay. Might pick out that, really trim another color later, but okay. A little bit right in here. And let that dry and move on a bit. Alright. Imperial Purple 09023. This one is about cached. So hopefully they're not to do the job. Okay, that'll be enough. Have to make a trickery stock. What's going on? Boots and gloves, and I think that's about it, but I was trying to avoid the red I just did. Looks like just a little armor on there, so I might pick that out in gold later when I do her jewelry. But Madelyn Corbeau here is not a fighter, she's a spy and diplomat. Well, sort of an official diplomat anyway. Tricky thing on this glove is where the glove ends and her hand begins. I think to add a little more visual interest, I'll pick out this panel out as well. Maybe this piece along the back of the corset. Sometimes you're going to change your mind on how you want to paint something partway through. So that's going to be in. Okay, let's call that good on the purple. So leather white 09062. Let's make sure I'm still kind of focused. Again, I've got this in an awkward setup, but see, literally only way I can do this. And this is something of a calculated risk here. So, getting her pants pants. She is wearing pants. So it's essentially a corset, a long coat, pants with boots and gloves. It's a bit too much paint on the brush. This trim here. The problem with a texture like this, it can be really tricky to get a nice solid coat. Excuse me. Oh boy, that's gonna go. She's got a cigarette. There's a. And again, sorry about that. Gonna get the trim at the base of her coat here. Okay, so it looks like the trim's on the outside, not the inside. Okay. Going along and then more at the shoulder, just below the shoulder, around the bicep. Then on her collar. And then I'm going to do this neckerchief in the white as well. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think I can go ahead and do the last base coat, which is going to be Antique Gold 09050. Don't need too much of this. It's a little jewelry. A little bit on the trim of her outfit. In select places. Really trying carefully not to let too much water get into the brush here. It's a balancing act when you come down to it. Okay, that's good. I think I'm done on base coats. So before I move on, I'll go ahead and start the arc with Pure White 09039. Again, Warmachine Hordes relies on a front arc to determine where you can make attacks through, and you get advantages attacking enemies in the back. So, of course, Corbeau here doesn't have any weapons or offensive abilities. She's all about defense and support. I can work with that. Okay. Let it dry and then I can start shading. Alright, time to start shading. Pure Black 09037. It's going to get tricky because so many colors are touching. So with the black, I'm thinning it out more than usual, using 2 to 3 times the normal amount of water. Normally you want 1 to 1, but rather 1 part water to 1 part paint when you're thinning out a shade. But using straight black is very difficult. If you don't get it thin enough, you can end up completely obscuring the details. It's already kind of happening over here on the side of her head. It illustrates exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just using my brush to soak up the excess. And I think I can go ahead and do the violet, so Nightshade Purple 09022. Just plugged up, so just paper clip. Oh boy, this is really jammed up. There we go. Make sure she gets focused again or try to get her in focus again while I thin it out. Okay. Just along gloves. And the back here. Going along the arm carefully. Trying not to nick the red when I get the boots here. Alright, now we need to flesh the white and the red. Go ahead and do a little more black on the top of the head here. Like I said, it's getting a straight black like this to look good is fairly difficult. It took me a while to figure out how, and even now it's still not perfect, so come back and just got onto a finger here. Let's thin that out, just pick it up with the brush. That should do. Okay, come back in a minute and get more colors. Okay, dry enough I can move on. So starting with Ancient Bronze 09049, I'll do the gold. Thin that out a bit because I want to hit the gold, not the red. And then Linen White 09061. You see right there how the hair is soaking that up. It's an artifice of the texture. You can work with it in a lot of cases, but sometimes, like right there, it'll work against you. So I use my brush to try to soak some of that up. continue getting the trim. I just nicked the elbow there. Okay. I'll make certain I've got the trim pretty good. Get the cigarette. I may have to touch up her hand there. Pants and the trim on the coat, which is going to leave just the flesh tone and the red, which unfortunately I cannot do simultaneously. So 2 more clips of shading and then do the highlights, details, and move on. But getting there. Okay. Burgundy wine 09025. Just plugged up, so paperclip hoe. That's really jammed in there. Let's make sure I'm focused again, close to it. The problem with my rig is the only way I can film this stuff is with the monitor behind me. Kind of incredibly limited space to work with. Which means I literally have to turn around to see, to make certain I'm still in focus. Unfortunately, I do not have the option of rearranging this in any other pattern, just due to space restrictions. So, collar, the part of the course that is not purple. Be very careful at the inside of the jacket, because I want to get the jacket, not the white or the purple. And carefully again along this inside seam near the leg. Need to get this a little better on this side. Just let the paint flow, let gravity do the work. Eep. Just conked my camera. Okay. I'm just going to take a little bit of fair skin again, which is 09047. Don't need too much. Just going to touch up that hand here and the face on this side where the black got into it. Let's see. Bit on the chest where the gold got into it, and it looks like I missed part of the armpit. So just trying to touch this up a bit so that when the red dries, I can go right into the shading of the flesh. So back in a minute. Okay. Fair shadow 09046. Thin out about half paint, half water again. get over the flesh, and a little bit of that red got into the skin on the shoulder when I did the touch-up, so that's unfortunate, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it other than touch it up, so, but it happens. And actually, let's blot that out right there, because that is supposed to be part of her glove, not her hands. We'll just redo that there. Get that. I don't know how we got that on the butt. Oh, that should come out when I highlight. And then I can go ahead and get the arc now, or at least get the color on it. So taking a flat head and Sun Yellow 09008, and this is a completely arbitrary color choice, so I just picked something I felt would fit for each faction to do these arcs. I try not to repeat the color, at least not in the same game. So okay. Once that's all dried up, I can highlight in detail. Okay. I've just placed my brush first off. There it is. Pure white 09039. Just need enough of this to fill in the eyes. And then pure black 09037. And right now this is just going to fill in the pupils, but I'm going to be using it again for the hair. Just a little dot. It's not bad. Now to highlight the skin, Fair Highlights 09048. And let's see here. Using one of my smaller brushes. So I'm rubbing most of the paint out on a paper towel that's off camera here to look like there's nothing left. Lightly dusting the areas to be affected. Focusing on the most readily visible. And then taking that pure black again, 09037, doing the same thing with the hair. For dry brushing, you want a ratty, ragged, feathered brush. Then order of operations. Your base coats, you want to go the lowest area to highest area on the model. Shading high to low. Highlight low to high again. Next. Gonna say the white. So Ghost White 09063. And some of this is arbitrary. Oh. So the pants to trim or cigarette. Scarf in her collar, trying not to nick the hair if I can avoid it. And pale violet red 09027. Seems a bit more subtle with this than how it usually goes with this color, but I'll still look fine when I'm done. So trying to go against obvious edges like in the coat here. And Imperial, or no, Amethyst Purple 09024. And on the highlighting, I'm mostly concerned myself with the external, most readily visible details. So, also using this highlight to cover up that patch of flesh that got on this back panel here. Apparently my primer chipped here at some point. I don't know how that happened. I didn't see any damage. I didn't drop her, I don't think, anyway. Huh. I'll go figure, right? And new gold 09051. I need to pick out a fairly small brush to do this one. One thing that red trim did do was cover up some of the gold here, so I'll use a little more straight paint to try to fix it. Alright, well, that is highlight. So, yep, now for the arc. So, let's adjust my camera here. Got focused on that self-healing cutting mat with the base markings. Get her centered the way I want her. And if I can get a grip on the brush I want. Just holding her down there. Taking that pure black from earlier and just First, I'm going to define the edge here of the arc. And readjust. Make sure it focuses. Come on, play nice. Okay, now I'm going to polish up that arc. As I said earlier, Warmachine relies on a distinct front and back arc system for determining attacks and what we'll call combat advantage. Then switching to a flat head and backfilling, I use round brushes on most areas of the model. And that takes care of the painting aspect. Once this has a chance to dry completely, then I can base. This brush is just being a little difficult to clean. So, back in a minute. Alright, time to base. So first off, this is an old Gatorade lid. So you see I've got old glue in there. I can just use the pliers and this multi-tool here to just pop out the old. Nice and easy. And keep it fresh. It'll last a while. It's this rubbery coating here that allows that. Making these things very useful for this purpose. So, I think this bottle's clogged up a little, but white glue. Or maybe I just need to buy a new bottle. I mean, I've had this one for a while. I refill them from a bigger jug. And water. And a beat up brush, more or less sacrificing. Mix it all up. Paint around the feet. I've got this in a slightly awkward position because the container of flock is right below my hand off camera, and I use a mix of finely cut static grass and a green grass-like flock. I find that mix gives some a little more to it. So there's the flock. Give her a dip in there. And then I'm going to take a spare brush that's dry and just push this down away from her toes and any other areas where it hit that I don't want it. That's good. So now that's going to have to set for a while, at least. So I give it at least 20 minutes generally. Then that's just sealing. So back in a bit. Okay, now to seal the base with a sprayer brush on adhesive. Just using an eyedropper carefully drip that in. If you don't give it some time to set first, though, this will only push the basic material around. Make little divots. So, and I just dropped my eyedropper into my paint water. And that's it. Madelyn Corbeau Ordic Courtesan. Got a couple of holds videos and another Warmachine video coming up before I switch to Malifaux. So until then, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.